Okay, now what the fuck do you want?
First I would go to the moon. First I would go to the moon.
It's Podpodular. Welcome back, everybody, to year 2 of the program. This is episode 53. It is Thursday, October 30th. Let us be the first people to wish you an early happy Halloween. But agenda here tonight, boy, got a big announcement from the band on some awesome shows coming up here early in 2026. We're going to cover that. And then this intro, it's obviously a thank you to you guys for sticking around for a year, but this is the What the Fuck Do You Want episode, the Arigato episode. So we put a prompt out, let you guys decide the topics. We're going to pull them out of a hat and cover some of them, give the people what they want to start year 2. But before we get into all that, bring in my trusty co-host, Mr. Scotty Fuller. Happy 1 year, Mr. Scotty Fuller.
Happy 1 year, buddy. I always knew we would do it. I didn't know we would pull up at the end of year 1 with quite the resume that we have accumulated over the last 52 weeks. But I knew we'd be here, and I'm proud of us, man. If I can take a little moment to congratulate us, we put a lot of fucking work into this behind the scenes. We've built relationships through this thing at this point with a lot of really cool people, and I just wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. I don't think I could do it with anyone else. So yeah, pumped to get into year 2. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you to the people that have been with us from the beginning, and to the people that are just joining us for the first episode today. Welcome. We hope you like it.
Come on and get close to the situation with us. Let's go. How about it? Scotty, before we get into the Q&A with the listeners, which thank you, everybody. We had some awesome stuff coming from some pretty awesome people. We had some videos coming that we're going to be playing as well. But first order of business, man. STS9 is starting 2026 with a 5-night run through Colorado. Give
5
us those
nights.
dates.
Count them, buddy. 1 night, Wednesday, January 21st, Aspen, Colorado. We're back to belly up, motherfucker. You and 400 of your closest friends can come and get after it on a weekday. Then Thursday, the 22nd, we're pulling up in Fort Collins, Colorado. I didn't even look the last time they play there. Hadn't been since I've been a fan of the band, I don't think. I'll let you do that. They're playing that one at Washington's, a venue I'm not too familiar with. And then Friday night, partner, we are coming to the Mission Ballroom. Finally, we are going to start our night 3 of the run, night 1 of the Denver takeover portion at Mission Ballroom. A lot of people have been asking about this for a very, very long time, and Tribe is finally going to take over that bitch on Friday night for a party. And then, man, the one that literally took my breath away. Never thought this would happen again. Never even thought to think if this would happen again.
Yeah, I'd let it go too. I was like, okay, well,
What?
Vote on that.
Yeah. Why would that happen? Gates Opera Hall for a full Axe the Cable show. The site of where it all began. I just got chill bumps as I said that. And then Sunday, and I have a direct quote from Alana about this one. We are going to Cervantes. And she said, it is going to be a sweaty, grimy throwdown. And I
Mm.
said, "Can I quote you directly?" And she said, "Yes. Sweaty, period. Grimy, period. Raw, period." Um,
Mm. Uh, yeah, man. I mean, you're getting what you were looking for in one of those first episodes. Given hot takes was let's get some more Colorado shows.
yeah.
Listen, you guys deserve it, man, for how many people showed up and showed out for the Boulder Theater shows and the Dillon Amphitheater shows. I think the band felt the love, and probably didn't feel right to them only playing a couple shows, 3 shows, right, in
Yep.
2025
Yep. That's all we got.
in the state of Colorado, where typically you're seeing anywhere between 9 and 12, I would
Yeah.
say, right?
Yeah, I mean, even on a slow year, you're getting five. You're getting Red Rocks and or whatever that summer run is, and then a New Year's run, or every other year. So yeah, it was definitely a slow year as far as Colorado standards are concerned. And man, I like everything about this. I mean, what's there not to like? But they're serving all the markets. They're hitting all the different size venues. They're playing shit they've never played before. Two venues they've never played before. Three, yeah, three. They're going back to old classics. I mean, this is what we've been asking for years. And we saw the announcements last week. We have no reason to believe that there won't be more coming. Who knows? As soon as today. But there's a lot of shit in the pipeline, and I'm just pumped to see it all come to fruition. Usually, the year after the band releases an album is a very heavy tour year, and good to see that that's something that hasn't changed post COVID.
Yep. Yeah, and look, be your statistician on here. Last time STSA played Fort Collins was in 2001 at the Aggie
Oh,
Theater. So you're gonna
oh
have
my
about
God.
25, 26 year gap between the last shows. And I've listened to that show at the Aggie, 10/17, 2001.
Sure.
It's a smoker. I mean, yeah, Thursday night in Fort Collins. It's gonna be insane.
That's that's a sleeper, man. I
Yeah.
didn't really think about that. I had no idea. I thought for sure there was something in the late 2020 aughts. Wow, that makes this even cooler.
Um, Axe the Cables, right? Back to where it all started.
Yep.
Do we think we get some Human Dream axed?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
That'd be pretty
Definitely.
cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Um, yeah, of course. We're doing a two-set show. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bunch of first-time acts. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, what I'm always looking for is Axe Shock Doctrine. You know me.
yeah.
But this being a part of the Human Dream tour and them going back to so many roots is just a it falls in line with the theme of what this album rollout has been, where it's mixing the new with the old, where it's letting those two ideas clash and letting them get to know each other and letting them mesh as opposed to clashing, which is why I think this has been such a smoother album rollout into their live shows than their last studio album was with The Universe Inside, where those songs clashed a little bit with some of the older songs, and these ones are fitting right in.
Uh-huh.
So excited for you guys. Going to do everything in my power to try to make it out at least for some of it. But obviously, we're excited for the New Year's run here in Chicago, and even more announcements coming down the pipeline for 2026 shows. Looks like gonna be a huge year for SDS9. So that's that.
that.
More on that in our preview episodes. I'm sure we'll have some fun with that. But
Yes.
man, that might take us 3 episodes to break down that 5 night run, man.
We'll come. Well, oh my God, dude. Yeah, that's so. I'm just trying to think of the dates that I know in my. We might back right into the next set of shows. Actually,
Yeah.
if we did do 3 weeks, that's about the difference between that set of January shows and the set of February shows. So, fuck yeah,
Well,
man.
no
Good
short
prop.
of a no shortage of things to talk about next year for sure. So it's good you got your guys' questions in while you did, right? Because we're gonna have some full agendas coming up here in the next couple weeks. But yeah, guys. So we put the prompt out, Scotty. You want to read to what you prompted the folks with?
Yes. So, as we kick off a new season, so to speak, our 1 year anniversary, I like the idea of an Arigato episode. Kind of serves two purposes. Obviously, okay, now what the fuck do you want to talk about? Kind of a ask us anything, our version of an AMA, but also Arigato, thank you. Cool to do this on our 1 year mark. Because we don't get here without a lot of buy-in from the community, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a bunch throughout this episode, but this is our way of saying thank you guys, because we didn't come into this with an ego about it. We weren't sure if a single person was going to listen to this, and so we thought this might be a cool, fresh way to say thank you and answer some of y'all's questions and concerns and all that. Before we get into what I'm sure everyone is expecting to be kind of the topic of discussion to kick it off, we had a super, super thoughtful video sent to us from Sydney Ball. Shout out to you, Sydney. I don't think I've ever met you at a show, but super thoughtful question. She sent it to us in a couple of videos, and we liked it so much we just wanted to play the whole thing. So we'll listen to that, and then we'll kind of just start running down questions.
You don't know me. My name is Sydney, and I saw the Podpodular prompt of, okay, now what the fuck do you want? I think it was yesterday, and I immediately wanted to answer, but I also wanted to take the time to really think about what I wanted to ask. Throw in the hat. So I have only known of Soundtribe since 2017, so I'm still fairly new, and so the whole conjecture of past Soundtribe versus current Soundtribe, I'm not terribly interested in that, other than the only part of that I'm interested in is something that we know about Soundtribe that Zach has made very clear is Soundtribe is symbiotic. It's give and take. It's they give us some of themselves, and then we give back, and then it's a thing. And so anytime that I hear someone like try and gripe about how Soundtribe is playing something, I go, well, that's something that we should all actually care about, because something that is so special about Soundtribe that so many of us claim to love about them is that it's them bringing themselves to the music. It's their skill and their personality and their love and their fire to the symbiotic relationship that is Soundtribe. And so I like being at the rail, and because I like having that chance to witness the members of Soundtribe bringing themselves into their art. Like, it is one of my favorite things that I'm getting to experience in this life right now, is getting to see Soundtribe and getting to see them have genuine fun on stage with their craft and be masters of their craft with their joy and their fire, and just, oh, I love it. I love it so much. I can't get enough of it. And there are some moments where, like, Alana steps up and starts having a solo, and you just see me hanging half my body over the rail, be like, fucking no! Like, I love that. And so whenever I hear someone be like, oh, I wish they would play X, Y this way or that way, or how they used to play, my mushy mashed potato heart goes, okay, well, are they having fun? And if they're not having as much fun as possible, what can I do as a fan? Because it's symbiotic. So, like, what does the band want from their fans? Of course, other than the time and resources, which we keep doing, and we're gonna keep doing. I'm already shopping for a down coat for Chicago that has a built-in heater. because I live in Texas and I don't want to die on the streets of Chicago when I'm sitting at doors, because I will sit at doors. So I want to know, what does the band want in that symbiotic? Like, I want to know what makes them feel come alive in their stance. Like, so much of Sound Tribe is about what the fans want and all of this, but like, I want them to shine as brightly as they freaking can, because they're amazing. And I just know that if I'm ever performing in any kind of way, performing a skill or anything, if I don't feel safe, if I don't feel loved, if I don't feel
This part.
free in the environment, I will not perform as well as myself. And so, from a outside perspective, I tell myself that it feels like there have been moments where I will start noodling on something, and either a note will get missed or a moment will get skipped, and then it's like they fall out of it. They just go, oh, whatever, and they drop it and they don't pick up back into it. What I want to know is, what can we do as fans to help feed that fire of, oh, hell no, I ain't done with that. Let's go back. I got more shit to say. Because when Sound Tribe is happy and fiery and getting weird, I can't get enough. I want to know what they want.
Thank you, Sydney. Also, more of that. If you guys are comfortable with your voices and your faces being on the show, we want to highlight the community as much as possible. Awesome video from Sydney. Hopefully she had her eyes on the road there. Looks like she's
Yeah, I was like, girl, you're driving.
driving to a job in the medical communities
Yeah.
in some form or fashion, which that makes her a hero to start with. But a lot to unpack there, right, Scotty?
Yeah, I think the I don't know. I like that video for a few different reasons. Not the least of which being I've always had a very specific answer to this. I think because she's right. There's plenty of there's plenty of obvious things that the band wants to see. They want you to come to the show first and foremost. Buying merch is cool if you can. Fucking being Caesar and jumping up and down and just putting your heart to it, like that kind of shit's cool. I think now more than ever, and I think this could be said about any band, but the Sound Tribe is the band we're discussing. Man, bring your fucking friends to this shit, dude. That's what they want. They want you to talk about it, and that's all we ever try to do here is be a vehicle for that, be a vehicle for conversation about the band, and ultimately for people to get so fired up about what is behind this band and the depth of this band that they can't help but bring their friends, because that's how they feel comfortable. That's why they would keep playing, is because people are still bought in and they're still kind of picking up what they're putting down. So, if I could have one challenge for every single person that is going to an STS9 show, for whether it's LA or New Year's or these shows coming up, it's, if you're buying one ticket, buy two. And honestly, buy for somebody that's never seen this band before, and give it to them and bring them. To me, that's the most significant thing you can do to really feed into that symbiotic give and take that Zach always talks about. I'm curious to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, grow it, right? I think that was something that was on the top of my brain when I hear this too. But I think I just want to hit on the fact that like the best STS9 is definitely happening when they're visibly having fun on stage,
Yes.
right? And they have a very unique stage presence where each one of them brings a little bit of something different to the stage. Phipps is the mysterious wizard in the corner. Hunter is the Zen master swaying back and forth, right? Jeffrey is the vibe uncle up top, right? Keeping watchful eye on everybody. Alana is the bass queen. She brings a lot of confident feminine energy to that side of the stage. And then Zach, I mean, um, I used to be a person that stood between Phipps and Hunter, but I've just found myself gravitating towards that area stage of not a real person myself. I like to kind of take in the production of the stage and everything like that if I can too, and I feel like it sounds a little bit better further back from the stage. Um, so that area, like 20 to 50 feet back from the rail between Alana and Zach, to be able to just watch those two together because I feel like those two are the most locked in terms of visually with each other, and like Zach is just a fucking absolute animal, and like you could tell, man, like when he's playing some of the newer stuff that they're pumped up about, yeah, like
Yeah.
he's on a different freaking level. Like some of these Chromolite tracks still watching Zach, like it gives you a different appreciation for it when you see it live and you see what he's doing and all the fills he's throwing in and these different weird time tempos he's playing in, time signatures. Um, you appreciate the hell out of that, right? And like when they're having fun, they're the most fun to watch, and it comes through in terms of the music as well. So I wanted to hit on that first. Um, what does the band want? I'm not speaking for them. What I'd imagine and what I would like from everybody is like drop your expectations in terms of
Yeah.
what you want to hear going into a show.
Mhm.
The band isn't the band's catalog is no longer their crutch. For a long time, the band's catalog was a crutch that carried them through probably about 4 to 5 years where not a lot of jamming happened, and that's why what ended up in like was one of the main reasons we saw a lineup change, right? Which thank God that happened. But for whatever reason, that crutch that they were using in terms of the depth and quality of their catalog, which I think far extends a lot of other bands in this
Mhm.
space or whatever
Sure.
you want to call this scene,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
Um, there's more depth to it, right? And sure, they could play those songs and everything like that, but are they going to be having as much fun on stage doing it? And in turn, is the inspiration going to come through on the soundboards? No, no. So that's what I'd like to see from everyone. That is my big piece of advice for anyone that's having a tough time like getting their expectations met. I did this back in probably 2015. Started dropping expectations because I was only 50 shows deep or something like that. So I still had a lot I wanted to hear, right? And still to this day, I have quite a bit I want to hear, right? But even 160 plus shows deep, dropping the expectations of what I was looking to hear helped me have such a better time and helped me listen to the band better. I was listening more for the subtleties, the different fills, the different tones, the different time signature changes and everything like that. That is what you should be listening for at this point. Even if these set lists are very heavy with some of the new material, you're still hearing it evolve so quickly in front of our eyes, right? So drop your expectations, listen and dance. That's I think that they would love as well,
Love that.
and what I
Love
would
that.
love from everybody. So
Sure. I love that. Well, thank you, Sydney Ball. I hope to meet you someday because that was an awesome just kind of train of thought, and I'm glad you sent it to us. So,
yeah,
um,
and again, more of that. Like guys,
yes.
if you got something to say, this doesn't have to be limited to this episode. Um, we'd love to feature more videos like that. So
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. I would hate to feature more videos and more conversation like we're about to, but it's gotten to the point where you know we made the prompt, and the first thing that was posted was 5 letters, Murph. So let's get into it for my peeps. It happened this weekend. Um, how do I want to start this?
just ask the question that he asked. Read all of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay. Let's see here. Said Murph, and then Nate said, um, basically, what about Murph? And he said his comeback, why people feel like David Murphy's almost Sound Tribe is good or is not good. Everyone I know that's gone to For My Peeps is a big fan of what he's doing. Does he just need to play more shows so people can experience it? The Sound Tribe fan base is fairly young. I think most kids going to shows and finding the band just weren't around when Murph was calling us all fuzzy teddy bears. Maybe that's what's causing the divide. Can both bands continue to coexist, or will this end up tearing space time as we know it? Um,
First, big ups to David Murphy's almost soundtrack. Like Joe Russo, J Rad, DMass. DMass is nice. DMass is nice. I like that more than For My Peeps. Yeah. Let's preface this. Like, we've been staying away from this conversation because we don't enjoy having negative conversations, but I think we're far enough removed from it where we can have a um adult conversation about it, a mature
yeah.
conversation about it, and shed some light around the whole thing. And
I have one. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, one more disclaimer is like,
Yeah.
dude, like when we first found out about this,
Okay, you're saying what I was about to say.
you can go back to it and be like, hey, or like our first reaction is like, hell yeah, David Murphy's back to playing music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Scotty, David Murphy holds a very special place in both of our hearts. Neither of us would be fucking here without David Murphy.
Sure.
STS9 wouldn't be where it is with David Murphy. So
Sure.
I just want to start with that and
Yeah.
be like, there's a whole lot of love in my heart.
Yeah.
For what David Murphy has done for me, for the band, the trajectory he helped set on my life, right? So I just want to start with that disclaimer.
Yeah.
Scotty, any disclaimers on your end?
Kind of. Yes. You can go back. The tape's there. I don't think we need to explain our love for the Murph era. We have done hours of clips and conversations about shows of that time. There's one person in this situation that I feel like came at me a little personally out of pocket, and so I'm not going to grant him the privilege of saying his name on this podcast anymore. But one of the reasons that we stayed away from this after the first time is because we were kind of brought into the fold in the sense of maybe helping promote this. And we were going to have a couple of members of For My Peeps on at some point. And then we were given the information that at this point is public information that has been posted on the group about kind of the situation with the Masters and all that, and how this was kind of a bait and switch situation in terms of Murph getting a fat payday for the music that he rightfully was owed money for, on the impression that he was done with this period, and then turning around and saying, with a fat wad of money in his pocket, music is meant to be shared, not owned, blase, blase, blase. And that put a bad taste in my mouth because we were so celebratory of it when it started, and to be used as almost a vehicle to promote it without the full story. I'm not going to speak for you at all on this topic, but for me personally, kind of pissed me off, and so I had no interest in it after that, purely from that perspective. Um, that being said, you know, if if that detail doesn't matter to you, it doesn't matter to you. That's fine. I don't expect everyone to care about the financials of it on the same level. I'm sure most people don't give a fuck about that, and if that's you, then fine. But I think what we're kind of here to do today is at least put some of the facts on the table and maybe be a voice for specifically that side that Ben is talking about when he says the Sound Tribe fan base is fairly young. Maybe kids just don't know what happened, because I think that's incredibly dismissive. We were both there for that, and I think if you do know
Yeah,
that
I saw about
yeah,
40 shows with Murph. Yeah.
yeah, if you do have those details that about it, and it does rub you the wrong way, I, I think those people are kind of being laughed at for giving a fuck about this band and their in their livelihood. I mean, does this affect their livelihood in a negative way? I don't know, but I think we have enough evidence to support it, this fact that it's not done in goodwill, and that to me is the main thing that I don't like about it. Like everything else, it seemed like a cool idea, but as soon as you put that layer to it, it just makes everything else gross to me. And I'm pumped for the people that are getting that feeling that they got back when Murph was in the band. If you couldn't find that with this version, I guess good for you. But I don't understand how you couldn't find it, and B, I don't know how hard you were listening, because I've seen enough of these two shows so far to say that, man, I don't know how you get to what was from that. You know, like, sorry, I kind of rambled, but go ahead.
You're good. You're good. Yeah. Am I pumped for the people that are getting this opportunity? Kevin from Sun Squabby is a good friend of
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah, we love Kevin, dude. And that's
Hmm.
that's why this feels so bad, because it felt so good at first. And
Um,
I don't think everybody is in the same level of malice here, but I do
right.
think there's a little bit of malice here.
Yeah. I am in no way want to get in the way of anybody having a good time, right? If
No.
that's your way of
No.
having a good time,
Mm-mm.
great. Um, will I be at the show? No. Um, yeah, I mean, we were under the impression when this got announced, like, oh, okay, like, and maybe that was wrong of us
Sure.
to
Sure.
assume that, hey, this is a conversation that had been had and given their blessing from the band, where the next thing we find out from the band themselves is the last time they talked to him was, you know, doing him the favor of paying him out the rights to the music which he asked for, right? Which they didn't. Let's be honest, they didn't have to do that, right?
No, and he was collecting it.
Um,
I'm sure he was like, I have not,
and
neither one of us have had deep conversations with anybody about what was happening before any of that, but like we know that much at this point.
yeah,
And he was like, that's how musicians, any kind of royalties work. You always collect royalties off your shit, or you take a lump sum, like you hear about all these artists doing lately. Justin Bieber sold his masters for $400 million. Like, this practice of artists selling the rights to their music to other people happens all the time.
yeah. And to be clear, just because Murph sold the rights to his music doesn't mean that he can't play the music that he helped write. Doesn't
Sure.
mean that he can't do that, right?
Right.
But I think there would have been a better way to go about that, right?
Yeah. And and
Um,
and I think that detail alone, if is enough for me. Um, we have a video clip of a comment that he made. And to me, that, if nothing else, this kind of tells me where his head is at. And I don't know. We'll play that little short thing real quick, and then we'll kind of close out on this, because this is the least fun conversation we've ever had on Pod Podula.
yeah, I've
Um,
got some more to say, but on that
yeah,
note,
yeah,
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 let let
yeah. On the other end of it.
let's bring it to that clip.
This one's actually really good. You should fucking go play Sector 9 songs because you wrote it and you don't care about none of that fucking computer shit, none of that fucking click shit. You play that motherfucking funk. You play that motherfucking old school shit. The fucking, oh.
Yuck, dude. Like,
Neat.
man, all these people preaching love and life. Like, there was just like just a weird energy behind that, right?
Yeah.
That seems spiteful.
Yeah. I, I, I
Like,
don't I don't I don't you are suffering from so much cognitive dissonance if you can watch that clip and say, no, it's just an innocent play, you know? And again, I am not here to tell anyone who lived their life. I know we're getting fucking knocked around butthurt Sound Tribe fan. I'm not in that group. We don't perceive ourselves to be anything more important than anyone else. But
Absolutely not.
we did have this information and we did react accordingly. And
And
uh,
it changed our opinion on it,
yes, and
right?
like I don't know. The a lot of people that I'm seeing that are huge fans of this, you couldn't put a gun to their head and have them come say something nice in that group on any other day. But as soon as this happens, all of a sudden, watch all these names pop up. And that feels gross. Like, I get it, man. I get it. Like, Murph, that was your era. But, like, I don't know. There was a post that somebody posted right before we started recording, and I loved it so much that I just copy and pasted. It was from Daniel Kavanagh, and he said, "Do you think that engineered social division on a national and global level has impacted the psyche of everyday people so much that it's affecting how people interact in a group like this?" And yes, I do. I think we are all addicted to this cutthroat, no pun intended, tribal mentality. And when when you see that video and you see some of the bad actors that are just kind of there to watch people squirm, grown men in their 30s that like to troll people on the internet and then talk about how back in my day on the lowdown you wouldn't have survived. Let me tell y'all something, man. It's 2025 and no one fucking comes to the internet to build calluses. They come to that group to talk about a band they love. And it's stupid to some people and it's frivolous to some people, but this music matters to people. And nothing about the last month and a half since For My Peeps has been a topic of conversation has done anything to bring people together. It's just a bunch of trolling and nastiness. And if you had fun at the shows, good for you. But I I'm just not riding, man. I will never ride with anything that feels intentionally divisive. And not to say that this project on its most surface level is not, but I think there's a layer to it there, and I think that video kind of tells you all you need to know.
Yeah. To get to more of Ben's questions, right?
Hmm.
Why people feel like David Murphy's almost soundtrack is good or not good. Um, why people think it's good is because I guess he's playing some songs that the band isn't playing right now. Like,
He's played one song that the band doesn't play anymore.
yeah, Big Little
I
Scenario. I guess
yeah.
he's not. I don't like. I get it, right? The
Mhm.
billing of it is like, oh wait, an earlier old school soundtrack. There's a lot of people that are huge fans of that, including myself. Like, I hear that and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, that sounds great. But like, yeah, just like people who don't mess with the new shit for whatever reason, whether they actually don't like it or whether they haven't listened to a show in a number of years, right? And all they hear is that Murph's back, and they've been someone who says, I miss Murph, and then trying to wear that on their sleeve and go see a cover band of it and expect to hear some of the stuff that they don't hear with the new band, or maybe hear it in a way that it's not
Yeah.
played with the new band,
Or,
right?
or
I
a
think that's
little more
exciting to
often or
some
whatever.
people, and
Yeah.
I think that if this was done the right way, that's something me and Scotty would have been excited to jump back
Are
into
you
as
fucking
well.
kidding me? I
Yeah,
mean, dude, we were bought into this. But at
yeah.
the end of the day, this is an STS9 podcast, and knowing the little details, we're just not. That's just not something we're going to promote. Um, Past this
Why?
conversation, I
Yeah.
guess.
Why people don't think it's good? I mean, I'm not trying to hate on them at all, but with serious ears, take a listen to something that For My Peeps has played up against something that STS9 has played. Whether you're comparing that to actual STS9 back in the day with Murphy or current Sound Tribe, it's just not it. It's really hard for anybody, let alone whether you've got one founding member or not, for any group of people to duplicate what STS9 does at a artistic level, at a gear level,
at a technical level,
at a like chemistry level, right?
Mm-hmm.
You heard Richard Devine talk about it last week. Like they've just been playing together for so long that allows them to get into how special it is. And that's one reason maybe to think one is better than the other. But like I think that compared with people on the internet spitefully saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to go to Dylan. I'm going to save my ticket." Sounds like my money would be better spent in a For My Peep show, right? It's like, bro, that is everything that's wrong with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you listen, it's a free country. Do whatever the hell you do, but like that mindset is whack. If you were planning on going to an STS9 show and instead of buying tickets to that, you buy tickets to this, do whatever you want, but that's what's putting a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, mine included, for sure.
Yeah.
There's more stuff he said on here. I just want to get to all his questions. He asked him in a great way. Does he need to play more shows so more people can experience it? I don't know. Like it hasn't been the same lineup over the next two shows. We don't know what this looks like, right? There's not any more shows announced, but from the sounds of it, it sounds like there's going to be. It sounds like it's not ever going to be a full touring act. So like, will it get better with time? Sure, just like anything will. Absolutely. And you know what? Good for Murph, man. If this brings him back to his happy place, and it truly is about spreading love and playing STS9 music, and he gets to do that, again, I'm happy for him in that sense. Right?
Yeah, it's not about spreading love. We're not even gonna fucking act like that's what it's about. If it's about getting his old songs off and playing in front of a crowd and getting that feeling he gets back, cool. But we're not gonna get that off, dude. This is not about spreading love. I think that much is clear at this point. Spread whatever you're spreading, but I'm not gonna cop for a second that this is just about bringing these tunes back in all these different ways. Like, get the fuck out of here with that.
Also, like all the repeats from first night to the second night. Like, what were you expecting, dude?
Okay, brought the shovel to Denver. Really dug deep.
For a big little scenario that sounded like it needed like a couple more years of practice on that, right? Great, glad everyone heard it, right? Mm-hmm. Sounded like that. Let please tell me with an honest face that was executed well, right? Other stuff he had brought up, right? Sound Tribe fan base is fairly young. I think most of the kids going to shows and finding this band just weren't around when Murph was calling us all fuzzy little teddy bears. Well, like, one, like, no, nobody finding this band was around in there. Two, I've seen more old heads come back into the fold over the last 4 years than I've ever seen before. Most of the people I'm going to shows with were around in the mid 2000s. Were around throughout everything. Had maybe seen more Murph shows than Alana shows. I've met people in the last couple of years going back to seeing them at San Luis Obispo Brewing, right? Like in 2001, right? Like and they're back because STS9 has gotten back to their roots. You heard Richard Devine bring them up again to quote Hunter Brown about Wavespell in 2018. We're getting back to our roots, right? That's what they've done. Listen to the new music. It sounds so much like the old stuff. And like, if you would just let your expectations go of like, you needing to hate on it because it's an old song and you're not hearing 6 old songs in a row, right? Then you're there for the wrong reason, right? So I don't know if that holds any weight to it. If it's anything about like people who have seen Murph and haven't, you've plenty of people on both sides of the fence. Yeah. That doesn't matter how old they are, how long they've seen it. What's causing the divide is why people show up to STS9 shows, why people chime in on the internet. We all need to check ourselves. And I've done that.
I did
might
too.
have.
Yeah,
I've kind of removed myself from the lounge a little bit, and just don't want to even be reading this stuff. And like, um, I don't think I talked a whole lot of shit, and I'm still not even talking a whole lot of shit. Like I've talked enough positive shit for any shit I've talked to outweigh it.
yeah. And I
So
think I'm in the same boat.
yeah,
I've gotten. I'll be the first one to admit I've gotten a little more out of pocket than you have over the last few weeks. Um,
yeah. Did I
and
hear a video of Domicile? Shout out Domicile, Asheville band, covering an STS9 song and saying like, "Well, this sounds a whole lot better than anything I heard for my peeps play." You know why? Because it's not garage band STS9 trying to be STS9. It's an
yeah,
original group covering STS9 as an influence in their current art. Like,
yeah,
dude, you're gonna sit here and tell me that anybody can sound like David Pips. You're gonna sit here and tell me anybody can sound like Hunter Brown. Those two in particular, it just can't be done. I don't care how
yeah,
good of a guitar player you get.
yeah,
Um, STS9 is not shreddy music. If you shred guitar over it, it's gonna give me a weird fucking feeling, dude.
yeah,
Um, hey, if you got your Murph tones back and you got some woos and that's what you like, hey, I'm into that too, dude. There's some nostalgic going back to that. Like Murph old MIDI bass fucking crushes, dude. Absolutely. Do I love some of the Murph? Not all of them. As long as it's not during the middle of a song, like crowd stuff. Like, yeah, go back to that. But like, I think we all need to check ourselves and just be nicer to ourselves and let people have fun. That's what I'm trying to do.
yeah.
And
I think first of all, I'll go if you've been offended by anything that I've popped off to you in the comments in the last couple of weeks, I have done my best to hold back, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to piss anyone off, man. I've got a kid. We do this because we love it. I don't like the feeling that I get when I get on the internet like that, shout out to Hannah Beal, and we are very good friends, like there's a couple of people to come to mind that I've even got outside of myself with in the last couple of weeks, and I think that's another reason why ultimately I don't like this. I wish that. No, I'm not going to say that, but I I just hope this settles down. I hope that For My Peeps band finds its own page to talk about those shows on. I don't live on Facebook, but what I will say is that group has oftentimes been used as a way for the band to kind of quietly pay attention to the good stuff, the stuff that
yeah,
people want to
it's
hear.
not a safe space for them right now. Like
No,
that's a damn
no, it is
shame.
not. No, it is not. And the last thing I'll say about him, you know who is in that group and hasn't said anything? Murph. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But he's watching all this and he's not doing anything to stop the division either. And so, I just hope the temperature settles down because that group used to be a way, going back to what Sydney said, a band that feels loved and feels comfortable does cool shit. And that group at its best is a way for the band to kind of be in there and pay attention and maybe pull some of the things that we want to hear and do them. And we have made it absolutely fucking radioactive for them lately. So if nothing else, man, I just hope this settles down. I love everybody that loves STS9. Period.
Yeah, and we'll finish it with this. Can both bands continue to exist, or will this end up turning space time as we know it? Yeah, both bands can continue to exist. We got to do better. We got to do better, right? Because to quote Taylor Woolman, it's getting exhausting watching both sides eye roll, right? That there's sides to this, right? We're
Yeah.
all on the same sides, arguing in circles all over my feed. Let me say this first. To the tune of Allen Iverson saying practice. Facebook. We're talking about Facebook.
Yeah. Sure.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Facebook.
No, and that's valid. I think that app and that group bring so much substance and so much bullshit on the same tip. It is how I've met many of my lifelong friends, people whose wedding I have gone to, and like it serves so many good purposes and so many evil purposes. And I think I don't know, I just hope it I would just like to see it return to an equilibrium that makes new fans feel welcome. That's, I guess, the other thing is that I want, as they're hitting all these new markets and people are going online and saying, "Hey, how do I find other people like this?" Man, I would hate for anybody to have walked into that group in the last 3 weeks and been like, "Sure, fuck
Yeah,
me, dude."
let's get our shit. We got about a month to get our shit together, folks, before
Yeah,
LA, because there's gonna be a lot of new fans coming off of those shows for sure.
yeah. And
Um,
I just want it to be as welcoming as possible. That's why
and
we have this podcast.
and let's end it with this,
Yeah.
right? Man, the fact that this is happening proves, and Scotty, you said it a few episodes, man, do we give ourselves a fuck about some Soundtrap, right?
Yes. Yes.
The fact that there's two bands instead of none, right?
Mhm.
Man, do we give a shit about some Soundtrap, right?
Fuck yeah,
The
brother.
fact that we are 53 episodes deep and we get hundreds, sometimes thousands of listeners each week to a couple of nerds who know nothing talk their asses about this, man, do we give a fuck about some Soundtrap,
Fuck
right?
yeah, dude.
So let's fucking unite around that. Let people enjoy things. Let's fucking put a cap on it for this episode. But
Yeah.
glad to finally adjust it. Feels like a weight is off of my chest.
Yeah.
Next question.
And
Next question,
yes,
Scotty.
next question. I'm not going to directly attribute this question to the person that asked it. But it's somebody very close to the band, so I thought this was a really cool perspective to ask a question from. He said, "What do you guys view as the most game-changing development or influence in the band's sound? Whether that's the things that's influenced them, like hip hop, or their evolution into modern electronic music." Oh, I love this question.
Awesome question. Thank you for the submission, young man. So, uh, I think it changes, right? I think that the ethos of the band is based around their musical upbringing, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of what it sounds like Hunter's parents were some pretty groovy cats and had him listening to some pretty awesome music early on.
Yeah.
The time that they were growing up in, right? Where they're going to a lot of Panic shows, they're going to a lot of Fish shows. If you listen to 1998 to 2001 Soundtrap and you're telling me like, yo, that doesn't sound like a mix of spacey Fish and like twangy Panic, you're not hearing it right, right? Like that's what
Right.
it is for sure.
Yeah.
You think of Interplanetary Escape Vehicle, like, bro, that's no laptop shit. There are no really computers involved. That's fucking four people in a band and a few microscopes in their instruments, right?
Hmm.
Not microscopes, microphones. Duh. Um, we're putting this under a microscope, is what we're doing. I
Sure.
think a catalytic factor to their progression of their sound involves curiosity and technology.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as new technology became available to them, and as they got curious going to drum and bass shows, right? Because Zach has told us like, yo, back in the day, like after we got off Fish and Panic, and all that, and they're big Grateful Dead fans too. They're jam kids. Yo, they first things first, they were jungle core kids. They were fucking drum and bass
Hmm.
heads. They were
LTJ
finding a way to
Bookham and yeah.
yeah, finding a way to travel for drum and bass shows, right? Like, um, so I think that is what inspires a lot of the early 2000s drum and bass. And then you get into the Artifact era, right? Where a few years before that, they're one of the first bands to start using Logic and start bringing computers on stage, right? And now we're seeing like a foray into the modular point of things, where Zach told us like, hey, at this point, like modulars almost become an afterthought, right?
Hmm.
Um, so you could name a whole lot of things. But in terms of the what carries on the um, evolution of their sound, they're gear nerds, right?
Hmm.
And they're gonna find any opportunity they can to use new toys.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about this band is the hip hop roots, the Atlanta of it all. And so obviously hip hop is a huge foundational stone in that pyramid of STS9. But I think if I were to say what is the most important factor to this band in general, you said the word a couple of times. It's curiosity, right? It is a David Phipps that almost 30 years into his professional music career goes to fucking modular camp in Europe. It is Zach Velmer discovering Fred again when he was just a little tiny artist that not a whole lot of people knew about. And in an interview in 2020, I remember that so clearly because I was like, Fred again, huh? What's that about? But they are musicians, and I think a lot of times the reason why so many musicians, whether you're talking about jam bands or you're talking about hip hop artists or whatever, what happens is they stop getting interested in what's happening around them. They develop a sound, they develop a style, and they stick to that until it's what music
Until they
used to
become a
sound like.
nostalgia act.
Yes,
Yeah.
until it's what music used to sound like. And, by the time they realize they've gotten to that point, they don't know how to adapt anymore. They've forgotten that muscle has gone dormant in their brain. And I think if nothing else can be said about STS9, it's that is probably the strongest muscle that they have going for them is their constant curiosity to expose themselves to as many types of arts and sounds as humanly possible. Yeah, I think it's that appetite to grow and change that is their single biggest, most important factor in what makes them them.
Word to that. Word to that. And nature. They've said it.
Nature.
Um, the state of the socioeconomic state of our society, for sure.
Hmm.
Um, what they feel like the world needs. What they feel like the dance floor needs.
Yeah.
Um, and what the fuck they're digging, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's gonna change over time, but I think we all know one thing, whether that's a crutch, whether that is an obstacle for them or not, it's never perfect, right? And sometimes it can be an obstacle for them to something where with something where it might take them 3 years to work on a bust out or feel comfortable about bringing in a new idea from the studio to the stage, right? Like, but at the same time, that's what makes them tick, and that's what makes them so special. So
Totally. Totally. Um, got a couple of like, will they ever play questions. Got one about Red Rocks from Joe Weber. Do we think they're ever gonna
yeah,
play Red
let's start
Rocks?
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think one day.
Hmm.
I think a few years down the road from now, probably. I don't know, man. I think with this Colorado run, which obviously it's in the winter time, so Red Rocks wasn't even an option for that. But I think the Dylan run has shown us that we can do other stuff. People will travel for other stuff, and maybe we don't need Red Rocks quite as much as we thought we did. Um, I would like to see them go back, but I'll be honest, I'm not in any hurry for it. I think if we keep trying out new venues that are as cool as Dylan or Levitt or Mission Ballroom or what have you, then let's fuck around, man. I don't really need to go back.
Yeah, I think they'll be back one
Yeah,
day for
yeah, I
sure.
agree.
And they're not the only band in this scene who had a long running stand with Red Rocks that did not play Red Rocks this year. And there are a lot of
No.
other factors that lead into that, where I know there was something where the there was a change in hand in management at Red
Yes.
Rocks or booking or whatever.
Hmm.
I don't have the right label for it, but that is, as far as I understand, that is fact.
Hmm.
And are they pushing more high grossing, popular acts that are not in the jam scene, more in the electronic and pop side of things? Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
that's how
the
things
fact of
work, you know.
the
So
fact of the matter is that in the social media age where everyone is aware of everything, Red Rocks is the premier venue on planet Earth. And back in the day, bands like Umphreys, bands like Sound Tribe and the Disco Biscuits and Lotus and String Cheese and Green Sky and Yonder and all these bands had multiple night runs at Red Rocks, and they were kind of in a legacy spot where, every year that was the case. And since COVID and kind of that changing of the guard at Red Rocks, like you said, man, you can't find a jam band that's not Widespread Panic or Cheese that has a 2 night run at Red Rocks, and you're not finding many that have one.
right.
It's just happening. It's just kind of a change, a shift in the in the booking of this era. But everything's a pendulum. I think there will be another opportunity soon, but I mean, it's worth mentioning that we are seeing more shows played at Red Rocks than ever before. And I think a lot of this is just trying to give everyone that wants to play that venue an opportunity, because they're playing like damn near 200 shows a year at Red Rocks these days.
Yeah, it seems like they're going deeper and deeper into the season and
Yeah.
filling more of the week. Um, yeah, and like if if you've taken a tour of anywhere around Red Rocks, you are going to leave, if you know who STS9 is, understanding how important the band STS9 is to that venue's history.
Sure.
There are pictures of them all over the place in the green rooms, in the museum, by the bathrooms. Like they might be the most photographed band at that venue, and there is a magic about STS9 at Red Rocks. And was it a little bit of a bummer that we're not getting that every year? Yes. Do I
Sure.
care as much? Not particularly, right? I'd like to someone who's seen as many shows that they had start to get new experiences and everything like that.
Yeah, you didn't make Dylan this year. Like, I'd
No.
like to do a Dylan show with you.
Yeah.
There's some shit that you haven't seen.
Yeah, for sure. So pumped. Just heard so many good things about Mission Ballroom. So, really excited for that. But short answer, yes, at some point in the near future, I wouldn't wait on it.
Hmm. Got another question kind of on the same tip. Somebody brought up holidays. Sorry, I didn't write down who that was, but holidays, can there or will there ever be another holidays or similar style beach destination festivals somewhere tropical? Um, an interesting
Oh,
question in light of it's nice not being the only jam band drama in the world right now, because boy, the Disco Biscuits have them a week.
yeah,
um Shout out Alan Alcoin. They
bro.
yeah, yeah.
Sucks to hear, man. Alan's a
I know.
fucking machine, man. I was to go to their shows. They're coming through Chicago for a 3 night run in December. Um, I'm sure I'll still probably go, but it's gonna feel a lot different. But like, uh, and from everything I've heard, the guy they're getting behind the kit is a possible step up in terms of musicianship,
Interesting. I
and
haven't
an
heard much about
absolute pro. But
him.
like, dude, with who Alan is and the way he plays, and listen to me, I'm sounding like someone who says I miss Murph now, but like, no, dude, like a drummer is way different, man, and like you need to be a drum machine to play 48 plus minute jams night in and night out. And with any like change in that, there's going to be an adjustment period, right? So I'm just curious to see how long that'll take. Um, but yeah, obviously don't love to see diss tracks going back and forth. At least we're not seeing that.
Yeah,
I think
dude.
that video of Murph and Alana's Facebook comment are the closest we'll ever get to a diss track. in this situation, but
Yeah, I'm glad we keep it a little classier over here. I don't
yeah. Barber's a loose cannon for sure.
Sure.
And
Sure.
that's one of the things that makes him great.
Yeah.
Like
I was listening to an interview with God, who was it? It was Jared Carmichael, stand-up comedian, and he said something that I thought was so interesting, and I've thought about it every time a topic like this comes up with any artist. We want these artists to provide us with this, like, the highest level of entertainment. They are so entertaining and so creative that we literally put them on a fucking stage and put thousands of people around them and we cheer for them. But then we also expect them to be normal. You know? It's like it's completely unrealistic. And so, when you get Barber popping off like that, or you have some shit happen with entertainers. I mean, they're entertainers. Their brains work different than us. So I don't know. I'll give a pass.
So yeah, what was the question about holidays?
Holidays.
Hey, let us bring that to our first clip of the
Okay.
How about that?
Cool.
So
Surprise
let's go back to holidays for a few minutes here.
Oh my god. Free with no sleeves.
That, my friends. Um, phew. Kamui, Potamus, Kamui.
Boy, I sure hope they bring holidays back. Shit.
This is
Um,
on December 3rd, 2016, the second of the 2 years I was lucky enough to attend Dominican holidays. Um, yeah, I mean, first things first, the Disco Biscuits are kind of the main purveyors of this. It started with the Biscuits, I think, on their own, and then it was a Biscuits and Humphreys thing, and then STS9 got pulled into the fold. And for a long time,
it
for
was
probably about 10 years or so, it was STS9, Humphreys, and the Disco Biscuits, which, I mean, is any music lover like us' dreams. There's some people that aren't into one or two. Those I happen to be a person that's super into all three. Um, man, that experience is, and I've done a lot of cool shit, like been to fucking Wave Spa, been to fucking Camp
elsewhere.
Elsewhere, like uh, dude, all inclusive, stage on the beach. Um, everyone is staying in the same spot. Poolside DJ sets. Um, did I mention all inclusive?
Yeah,
um, it's something the world needs. I think it's something you need a pretty big chunk of cash for. Which they make affordable with payment plans and everything like that. But I think towards like you just saw with where our economy is going, like it's just like people don't have as much um, extensive income as they did or expendable
disposable
income,
income. Yeah.
disposable income as they did. And there's something could be tough. Man, do I hope so? Yes. If I had to bet
Yeah.
on it, I'd say we've seen the last of holidays, but hopefully something like it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. I think we
aspect
can
or
I think we can answer another kind of same style question, which is basically like, do we expect to see any version of like a even an STS9 lead thing,
yes,
like a Camp
yes.
Elsewhere or
Oh
not a
yeah,
Camp Elsewhere, sorry. Um
regen,
no,
harmonic conversions,
what was the
wave
one that did
spell,
what was the one that didn't happen?
can't, hotel elsewhere.
Hotel
Yeah.
Elsewhere. Yeah.
God, I was so pumped for that. Everyone was going to that, bro. That was gonna be so sick.
I
Remember?
I had a
Everyone
list.
was going,
Dude,
dude.
I might still have the note on my phone. I had a list of 25 separate rooms that I was in charge of calling the hotel and being like, "Hey, can you put all of these people on the same floor?" And
Yeah,
I had made that phone call and I had it all set up. Everyone we've ever met in this community was going to be on the same fucking floor, and then COVID happened that week.
yeah.
And obviously, we know how that went down and never ended up happening again. But
Man, that's the
man,
one I'm glad that came. That's the one that got away, bro.
yeah,
Well, we were supposed to get a rave spell set, um, which would have been the second one. I don't know what that would have looked like though. Like,
I
would we
think it
have
would have
heard a
looked like
lot of the same
no, it would have looked
songs
like a
or?
Chromolite set. I think it would have
Well,
been
those are
kind of this.
songs too, though.
That's what I
You
mean.
think
I think
think
it
it would
would have.
have looked more like a wave spell set, like actual improv? Do you think?
No, I think what I'm saying is like you know how the three or four Chromolite sets that happened
Oh,
they
I
were
get
with
what you
the
mean.
same songs and
Yeah, I mean, same songs
different
in a different
spins on
order.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I would have expected. Well, because you and I both are of the opinion that that probably was an album that just
Yeah.
and maybe one of the members will hear this conversation and correct us or confirm it. I've actually never asked, but I think that whole 2020 year would have been a little bit different with the rave spells.
Dude, they
You know,
were on something, bro. That pandemic couldn't have come at a worse time. In terms, they were cooking with gas. They were coming off the 4 night Aspen run, 5 night run, with fucking rave spell. Like Zach has said it to me, man. Like it could have been more of a bummer for them to have to take a year to 1 2 year break. And it kind of took the sails out of the ship a little bit, right?
sure.
Um, which who knows where we're at without that. Obviously, it ripple effect on the whole world, and there's things more important than our favorite band. But it's an interesting thing to talk about. But to answer the question, yes, yeah, I think that this band will never get until the end of it. I think what might be the last thing ever that happens with this band, God forbid that, I mean, that day will come, right? Um, will be some kind of event. That's what they love doing. They love curating event. They love curating music for people. They love spotlighting artists and having their friends play with them, right? Um, so I would expect to see something, if not this coming year, then within the next 2 years, I would think, in terms of the next STS9 curated event. But um, yeah, can that bring us to our second clip, Scotty? Because I want to play a clip from Rave Spell proper that I think was actually improv for the people. So you mind if we go back there real quick?
Let's go back there, partner.
All right. Good God. Yeah. For those listening at home, Rave Spell, 12/30/2019. Housey up tempo improv. Um, yeah, there's a few sections in here, right? Obviously, with Never Never becomes a song, Like I Do becomes a song, Lift You Up becomes a song. I mean, Bustin' Elevators is a cover, Falling because it becomes a song. But you've got some nuggets in here with like the modular improv, D&B improv, modular up tempo improv, and this housey up tempo improv, which were some really special nights.
Yeah,
For
and I
special
want to be
moments from
clear.
that
I'm
night.
I'm not trying to undercut the band here. I think this was a full night of improv. I just think some of these thoughts were a little more thought out.
Okay.
I like, was it Like I Do sounds fucking nothing like it
Yeah,
did.
so does Never
That night.
Never, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
honestly lift you up too.
yeah,
So
I think that if nothing else, a couple of these were a little bit more developed in their
yeah.
thought process. But I listen to that and I go back to this night and I just I remember being blown away with the music and not too blown away with the venue that night.
I
I
remember seeing Murph
Yeah.
Yeah, and hanging out and talking with him, and he was in a real
Mhm.
good mood. And
Yeah.
the show I had seen him at previously was at the Roxy. He
The
didn't seem to
Roxy.
be in as good as a mood, but he was being nice to people that night and had a conversation
Yeah.
with him, and I was like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Not in a million years, I guess, would this be happening." I'm not sure they could have pulled this off with me. So from the man himself, that was a pretty wild night of them just tapping into unlimited potential of what
Mhm.
we saw and continue to see with the future of STS9. So next question, Scotty, what do we got?
Let's
Get to a few
see
more here.
here. Yeah, we can get to a few more here. Let me see here. Supporting X. We had a clip request that I didn't think we played. Have we played the When the Dust Settles from 10/31/2014?
Not that one, no. Okay.
I don't think so.
Give the people what they want.
They also requested from that same show Mobsters Nautilus Aimlessly, which I think we have played, or have we?
We have, I don't know if we have, but
One of
that
them.
one's pretty tough to clip.
Yeah.
I believe me, I've thought about clipping it on this show, but it's pretty much the whole thing entirety in entirety that is the clip. So yeah, I mean, in honor of Halloween and in honor of giving people what the fuck they want, let's do it. Let's get into our third clip, which is a clip request from
Jeff Halliday, shout out to you. Thank you.
War Memorial Auditorium. There's your woo. There's your woo.
Dance.
Thank you. Who was that? Had to skip that?
That I think I just said his name was Jeff Halliday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeff. What a night. I think this show right now, Scotty, other than the shows that we've reviewed in full, might be leading the way in clips pulled from.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
there's a reason behind that. This was a special night. This was all funk Halloween. The band, I remember clear as day being there. Seeing a picture of me on the show. Me and Firm, who's been also been on the show, dressed up as Walter and the dude from Big Lebowski. They come out in disco ball helmets and throw down this stripped down, not axe, but no laptops when the dust settles. No samples, funked out. And then they took off the helmets and they put them on these stands. And like during this ambient outro, Saxon just went nuts uh, in the venue, like bouncing lights off these disco ball helmets, and that was a really cool way to start the show. I mean, boy, did they come through on their promise with Funk Halloween, Gobnugget and a
Yes.
Monkey, the first paint, I believe, into
Is
Mothership
that right?
Connection. I think so, yeah.
All right. Dance versus this is from Jake Cantor. Dance versus pants. And how do we feel about woo segments?
Um, okay. Dance versus pants. Pants is fucking hilarious. Yelling pants is really funny. And as long as you're not yelling woo during dance unironically, even if you're doing it ironically, that's annoying. It's dance pants. That's funny. That is a hilarious joke. It's a big thing I love about the fan community is shit like that. Woo
Yeah.
segments. So I think our last clip is a good example of that. I mean, I'm thinking when the dust settles. I'm thinking Open E,
Puma.
Puma. Bro, I'm fucking all here for it. Like the
Yeah.
band is this is not Fish, right? Like getting the crowd involved to um our point from the first video we shared from Sydney, right? Like the symbioticness. Like
Yeah.
the band wants that energy coming off the crowd, right? So a well-coordinated woo during When the Dust Settles opening was the dance or not dance Puma,
Puma.
right? I'm fucking here for it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
EHM, maybe not anymore, right? But again, if you want to woo your heart out, go for it. I know that was a big one in the early 2010s. It was a big woo song, but yeah, Scotty, your thoughts?
I love a good woo. Not during dance. Love pants. Love France. Love anything that rhymes with dance, man. Be creative with it. I don't have a problem with that. Um, I do have a bit of a hot take about EHM. I might have said this on here before. I think I would woo more if that song was shorter. I that is a 13-minute song that could be a it could be a 6 or 7 minute song. But there's that chorus of EHM is so frequent and it happens so many times that inevitably the woos start to kind of lose their impact. I think a little bit there. But yeah, man, it doesn't happen very often, and usually those kind of songs are well placed in the set to where they're there for a reason. They want to hear it. So yeah, all about a good woo. I'm not a woo hater. I think that's weird. Have fun with it.
All right, got a couple funny ones, a couple jokesters in the thread here. Let's see here. Tyler Roderson, all-star contributor in the lounge, by the way.
Also the one that sent us those Vault CDs. So shout out to Tyler.
Fuck yeah, Tyler. Does anyone really boof, or do they say they do? Do they just say they do? Uh, uh
Yeah, I'm certain they do.
yes, they do. I've seen it. I've seen it myself. I can
You've
confirm
seen
that
it?
they do. I have seen it.
I don't.
Wish
You
I
don't have to tell
hadn't.
the story.
No, I won't. I wish I hadn't seen it. I'll tell you that. But can I be certain that there are people that that are probably
I can
going
be
to
certain.
that are going to shows? Yes. Do I respect it as a economic way to consume whatever party favors you're looking to consume? Sure. Yeah. I mean, but be careful. Just be careful out there, folks.
Oh my
Um,
god, my aunt is gonna fucking listen to this.
she doesn't know what that means.
Well, she's gonna look it up now.
No, she won't. Brad Hammond, does it purr?
Yes.
There you
Yes, it
go.
do.
This
Yes, it
engine
do.
purrs, sweetie. Yes, it does. Yes. Thank you, Brad. We'll finish it out with this one. Um,
Yeah, and we actually turned this one into a segment. So shout out Rabble Daylight, big listener of ours. He said the return of Re-Stereo. Why or why not? So this got us thinking. There's a few songs that have been gone for a while. Not as many as you would think. Going back to kind of that old school Sector 9 conversation, most songs are in rotation. It's 7 years is the deepest I could really find. Any STS, any song that was in a regular-ish rotation that they haven't played, but a lot of shit they've played in the last 5 years or so. That being said, we'll start with Re-Stereo.
yeah. Why don't we start with a clip of it, and
Cool.
then we'll go from there. This is from the Old Town School of Folk Music show on August 22nd, 2010 in Chicago, Illinois. This was an act show that I think that was played in front of about 250 people. So let's get into it. Scotty, I think we've played this on a show prior. I can't remember what episode. I think I brought it to
Yeah,
the table.
I remember when you pulled up the last time played thing that looked very familiar. I don't remember why we're talking about it either, but yeah, that's our first repeat clip actually. Um,
Oh, we
yeah,
played a
man.
different one. Not that one. That
Yeah.
one was, yeah, I mean, like that was a special night for sure. And I don't think the first one we played was Axe. I think it's even when they don't play it at Axe shows, it's somewhat axed.
Yeah.
But
There's
that's
not
an
that much of a
acoustic.
difference.
It's Hunter playing his hollow bodies still in the other ones. But that is Hunter playing acoustic guitar.
Mhm.
Uh, you were messing with it the first time around. I was in the camp
Yeah.
of it. Yeah,
I'm
but
not
your thoughts first.
I'm not out of the camp of it. Like, if it gets played, great. I don't believe it's a song I've seen played live before. So from that perspective, I'll take it. But I actually, now that you mentioned that, I remember exactly what I said about this. I said that I feel like other songs kind of serve the same purpose as it. I think from now on kind of has a similar structure to this, except it has a bigger build to me. And so that right there in an axe set to me, for the novelty of getting another notch in my song count belt, cool, but nah, I don't really need Re-Stereo back.
I like it. I think Gates would be a great opportunity to bring it back,
Yeah,
along with some of these other ones
sure.
south of here. The
A place
following
behind the moon with
Place
Dom. I
Behind the
forgot about
Moon,
that.
which
That's cool.
that's actually a big gigantic song.
Yeah, yeah,
So It Goes would be sweet, you know. Um, yeah, there's a lot of another Glenn Tells Can Go at that act show would be sweet. Um, Listen, I think it would need some serious work, which any song that they've brought back from any era has gotten some serious work. I mean, you
yeah.
take a look at I think of Phoneme
Ah,
in the facelift that Phoneme got kind of post COVID. I think that there's space for something like that in this song to make it super fucking epic because I think the
sure.
bones of it are really cool. I think of what we just heard them do to Trinok in Asheville would be really fucking epic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm here for it, but I think it would need some work. I just think with how up tempo most of their shows are now, it would have to be most likely an encore, the first song of an encore followed by a banger, or it would need some serious work to fit into the midst of a 2025 2026 STS9 set. But
Sure.
great topic.
Uh,
Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
a
and
good, nice can of worms we can dive into. So.
yeah, so I just came up with a few other songs that haven't been played in a while. Some maybe
Yeah, and
have
before we get
never
into
been
that, it's
played.
been to give you the stat. It
On
has been
Re-Stereo.
15 years and 10 months since we've heard Ari stereo or re
Wow.
stereo, whatever you want to fucking call it. Um, but yeah, what do you got? What else you got, Scotty?
All right, cool. So we're just gonna kind of quick hit it like we do with our guests. I'm gonna rattle off a song. You say yes or no, and then I'll say yes or no. Heavy,
No.
no. Light years,
Yes.
yes. Already did Re-Stereo. Vulcan,
No.
no. Same, no. Central,
Yes.
really?
Hmm?
Okay.
Give me
This is the
Central.
first.
Yeah.
This is the first one we disagree on, dude.
Hmm?
That to me, and I realize we're in a little bit of a bag here with that Explorata. You know, I remember somebody playing me Central after I had seen my first STS9 show and being like, "That's not what I just saw at all. I have no interest
Yeah,
in that."
that's
you know.
fine.
Um, Lion.
No.
What?
I don't like
Really?
Lion Man. Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh,
Those collection of three songs like Heavy, Lion, and Vulcan. Like I don't know. I don't know. It's like it feels like half baked. All those songs seem half baked. Like they're like an idea, and they seem like all the same idea for a song, but they never really go anywhere.
that's kind of my feeling about RE Stereo or Re-Stereo, however you want to say it. It feels like a thought that's been flushed out better with other songs. I don't know, man. I think Lion with Alana would be something special.
All right.
That I got a Lion at my first show, and never again. It was the last Lion I ever played. It was in Oxford, Mississippi, and
Okay.
yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. It would just be cool to say that I got it again. I think Alana would do it really, really, really well. But not mad at anybody that can do without that song. I would have expected you to say yes to that one for some reason. One that
Maybe I'll
hasn't
go back and listen again.
yeah, one that hasn't been played before, Golden States.
Yeah, I really like that one off the
Yeah.
second wave spell release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Off first listen when they released that out, that was one I was super excited about. So I'd love to see a live rendition of that. On the other
Yeah.
side of that, everyone looking for Black Hole Swan, right? It's
Yeah.
like that. I don't think I need to hear it. It's not even like
Really?
it. I just don't hear how it translates to the a live song in itself. And they were hearing it so much, and it's very similar to Black Satin. They were hearing it so much leading up to those first shows they reviewed as a show. When they asked for requests, Zach was like, "Hey, we heard so much Black Hole Swan that we wanted to like fulfill that somewhat." And then we got Black Satin with Lettuce. So I'm cool with Black Satin. I'm not a huge person or a huge proponent of them trying to iterate Black Hole Swan. It's another one that's just like seems like a really cool clip of improv that I think would be tough for them to bring like to life on stage. So
And I think the reason that you're kind of bearish on it is the reason that I think it would be awesome. I think there's a few songs, Potamus, Call Jam, both of those come to mind. That Dragon City is another one. Wave Spell is another one. That
bring that
um,
shit back.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But
Yeah.
all of those were kind of loosey, not a whole lot of form behind them when they started. And I think that's what Black Hole Swan would be. I think it's an opportunity for Phipps to really slide around and be present. But it's just a fun, loose song that maybe amongst kind of a funk set, or maybe even like Lana was talking about, just a dirty, sweaty, fucking high tempo type set, I think could fit really well. As far as how it would translate into kind of a traditional song, I do agree with you that the thing that sticks out about that is the bass line and what Phipps is doing there. Can that be achieved in any improv jam that they open up in that style? Yeah, probably, but I still want to fucking see it.
All right.
Um,
Well,
and then end titles,
end titles.
Daft Punk cover from
Oh,
from Tron.
fuck yeah. Yeah, any Daft Punk cover, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of Daft Punk, dude, the return of Thomas Bangalter with speaking of Fred again, bro. Holy
Uh
shit. Some
huh.
good news. Some good
I
fucking
know,
news.
dude.
Dude, that mashup of uh, Digital Love and the song Billy by
Yeah.
Fred again. Good
Uh
God.
I know,
Shit,
man.
dude.
That guy's
Um,
special, man.
yeah.
I'm just constantly floored by his vision and everything that he does.
Yeah, I would love to see them cover Giorgio Moroder, that song.
Yeah.
That'd be really fucking cool. Robot Rock, Daft Punk cover. I think we
Bring
can leave
that
that one
back.
in. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. Man, it would probably be way cooler now, but like listening back on it from 2010, it's a lot less cool than I remember. But
yeah. I mean, the one that I think of is the last Tabernacle run with Murph. I guess what I will say about it is it's pretty on the nose. We've talked a couple times this year about how that era of covers was very much a cover. There wasn't a
Mhm.
whole lot of STS9 involved in it, where whether you talk about the Dark Star or some of these other covers that they've done in the last year or so have been a lot more personalized. The Thriller is another one that comes to mind from Austin. So yeah, that version of Robot Rock, I think I'd like to see.
Yeah, dude, I think that this current iteration of STS9 would be well suited in the random access memories bundle of songs.
Sure.
Lose Yourself to Dance, um, Doing It Right, Contact. I said Giorgio. It's Giorgio by Moroder. My bad. Um, Give Life Back to Music, Instant Crush. Obviously, Get Lucky. They've done that. But
God,
I
Lose
think that
Yourself to Dance is such a good song.
yeah, that would be insane. But yeah, does that wrap us up?
I think that wraps us up, man. First ever Arigato episode in the tank, man. That was fun.
I was. We're gonna see more of that. Not even outside of that. Like, if you want to be on the show, send us a voice memo, send us a video, and we're more than happy to dive into whatever you're thinking about. Whether it's on topic for a planned episode or if it's a reaction to a show. More of that.
Oh,
I think we're looking to get
yeah.
into more of that in year two of Pod Modular. So
Or if you want to be on the show, invite
yeah,
yourself. You're invited.
doors
If
open.
doors open. If you fucking like us and you want to chop it up, you feel like you could add something to the discourse. Let's talk, man. I got one more question for you, Nate. Let's take the band episode out because I think that's the obvious answer for here. What has been your favorite episode or even moment of the first year of Pod Podular?
Man, Richard Devine has
Really?
recency bias.
Yeah, sure. That's I was
Um, that and probably the episode with Brad, I'd have to say, or
okay.
two up there, other than the episode with the band. But they're all my children. I
I
love them all equally.
I know. I've thought about this all week because I knew I was going to ask you, and I keep going back to that Audio Angel one.
Mm,
If
yep.
if you had looking back on this first year of the podcast, I think the craziest thing that I can say is that I consider Audio Angel a friend. I consider Rashida a friend of ours now.
Mm,
Um, she messages us about almost every single episode that we've dropped since hers. She's a listener. She's a fan. And just the her willingness to be vulnerable with us and to have some pretty tough conversations, and just the fact that it seemed to make an impression on her because she likes us. She sends us messages about stuff we say, and she clearly is celebrating in this journey with us. And I don't know. I keep going back to that one, and I think that's the one that sticks out to me the most in terms of kind of something I would have never expected to happen in the first year.
Well, my friend, it's all been a blast. It's fun to
Yes, sir.
reflect on it.
Yeah.
For everyone out there, thank you for watching and listening, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Throw us a like, throw us a subscribe, throw us a comment or review if you're feeling nice. We'll be back next week. Happy Halloween to everybody.
Yep.
And yeah, much love.